Hello and welcome to the JSA Studio. I'm your host, as always, Nathan, and today I'm coming at you with the first video of my Big Ten team-by-team season in review series. Today we'll be talking about the Purdue Boilermakers. But before we get into the video proper, it's at this time I would like to ask you to like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help out the channel if you did. But now with the intro done and out of the way, there's only one thing left to do, and that is to get started by starting with the overall season in review. Now, unfortunately, this season did not go as well as you would have liked to have had it gone. 1-11, absolutely terrible record. This is one of the worst years Purdue has had in a very, very long time from a football perspective. Last place in the Big Ten, and of course you fired Ryan Walters, your head coach. We'll get to his replacement later on in the video, but just for a moment, I would like to talk about Ryan Walters himself. And this is someone that I thought did a really, really good job as Illinois' defensive coordinator when he was there. Illinois' defense has not been the same since he left. And I get that it didn't work out here, but he's a young coach that I was pretty high on when he got this job. I thought you could have done a lot worse than by hiring him to replace Jeff Brom. But I guess in reality, that was not the case. I actually liked Ryan Walters a lot. I was a big fan of him. I thought he was going to be able to figure it out. However, too much pressure, too much talent in the teams that he was playing against, not enough talent on the roster, and that is ultimately his fault because coaching can mitigate talent to an extent, but this was not a very well-coached football team. I thought maybe in the middle of the season with the quarterback change, he might have found something. He had that close game against Illinois, I think it was, but overall, no, not really, an absolute failure and travesty of a head coach, and has pushed Purdue's program back farther than it's been in a very, very long time. There's not a whole lot of hope on this roster. There's not really a whole lot of anything, to be honest with you. The grade that I'm giving this season for Purdue is an F-, and I don't really think there's going to be a whole lot of pushback here. Well, what do you do after you have an F- season? Well, you fire your head coach and you hire a very good coach from the group of five. And who was that? Well, that's Barry Odom, former coach at UNLV. Barry Odom spent a lot of time in Missouri, cut his teeth there as a GA, worked his way up the coaching staff before leaving to Memphis, and then returning to Missouri, ended up being the head coach there, actually, before getting fired, bouncing around for a little bit, and ending up at UNLV, where they were pretty good the past 2 years. Really good, even. I believe they finished the season ranked, or the regular season ranked. So this is a good football coach here. Now, unfortunately, his offensive coordinator, which I think did have a significant amount of influence on the success of that program, Brennan Marion, is now the head coach at Sacramento State. So he is not coming with him to Purdue. That is a blow, because I think he's actually a really good offensive coordinator. I think it would have been interesting to see him call plays against a higher level of competition, but decided instead to become a head coach at the FCS level instead of the FBS level as an offensive coordinator in the Power Four. All in all, I do think Barry Odom was a good hire. I'm not sure what he's going to do. And Josh Henson at OC is kind of a big question mark for me. For the past, I think, 3 years, he was the offensive coordinator / offensive line coach for USC. And if I know two things about USC, it's that Lincoln Riley calls play and their offensive line sucks. So I'm not particularly encouraged to have Josh Henson as the offensive coordinator and potentially play caller. Barry Odom is a defensive head coach. I expect him to probably end up calling the defense. He may or may not. I don't know how that's going to work there. However, offensively, Henson is most likely going to be the play caller, and he does not have a great track record. Now, he was the offensive coordinator at Missouri for a long time while Barry Odom was actually working the way up in Missouri's system, going from a GA to defensive coordinator. So if you're wondering about the connection, there it is. But all in all, this is not someone that I have a lot of confidence in calling plays and going to be good. I think this is most likely a bit of a nothing burger at the offensive coordinator position. But all in all, I think you could have done worse than Barry Odom and Josh Henson at OC. Henson at least has been a Power 4 offensive coordinator before, even if he wasn't calling plays. Maybe he can take that Lincoln Riley system and get some creative play calling and get some people open and put some points up on the board. But that's just me, and what do I know? I'm just some asshole on the internet giving you his opinion. And to this point, I'd like to remind you to like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and if you disagree with any point or you just have something to say, go ahead and drop a comment down in the comment section below. And now with the outro done and out of the way, there's only one thing left to say, and that's that I'll see you next time.